actually under $40. I know it's called Beauty Gifts under $50, but we actually lowered the price of one of the items, so it's amazing. I think one of the reasons that I couldn't hear is because when I'm around radiant heat, it's almost like I cocoon. Like there's something inside of me that just kind of like, this isn't overwhelming. I could get as close to this as I wanted to because it's radiant. It's oscillating, so it's actually warming up the entire space. But guess what? Now, I'm inside our studio. This could be outside. It's weatherproof, completely weatherproof. You can oscillate it if you want to. It's got a timer if you want that. It's got on and off. You've got high power, you've got lower power. It's a radiant heat, so it's safe to use inside and outside. It's nice and stable. We will ship it to you for free. $35.99 on any credit card. Now here's the thing. We are in our final about 180 remaining. That's it for the entire, not just the entire day, not just the week, the entire season. This is it. All we can get in stock. There you go. Okay. Oh, 190. So you can go on the phone. You can go to hsn.com. My guest, Lou Caputo, is joining me. Lou, for the final time with this, because this inside-outside heater is going so quickly, and I know it was supposed to last the entire cold season, but we're just about to sell out. So welcome in, Lou.
Thank you. Well, you know, I'm really glad that we got to sell this early on in the season so people can get this and they can enjoy it. Speaking of seasons, this is what we call a 4-season heater, meaning you can use this winter, spring, summer, and fall, you know, those chilly evenings, because you can take this outdoors, and I love that about this. This is IP55 rated, first of all, and it's from Westinghouse, a name that, you know, we've all grown up with. We've known them forever. But I want to show you something really cool, because I always like to do something, you know, kind of dramatic demonstration-wise. So here's one of the units sitting on this table here next to me, and I'll go over the features in a second, but real quick, I got one sitting in a fish tank over here, and that one has got water just pouring all over it. There's literally a little hose on top of it, and it's just dumping water down that, just so you could see. So if you were thinking like, oh, I don't know, could I use this outside on my porch, my patio, my lanai? 100% yes, it's IP55 rated, and you can see that's been on now for like 10 minutes, and you can see that water's not bothering it one lick. But let's talk about some of the features on this. Now, you mentioned that this was a radiant heater. This is infrared heat, which is my absolute favorite kind of heat, because radiant heat or infrared does not rely on a fan. It's not forced air. The problem with forced air is that if there's a breeze anywhere else, that hot air is going someplace else. It's not coming to you. The way a radiant heater works is that heat comes out of there, and Shannon, it warms objects and people in the area, in the space. So it's going to warm you, it's going to warm your clothes, it's going to warm the furniture, and in turn, all those things start to radiate heat as well. So it's the most efficient way, and that's why it's so great for outside, because you don't need to worry about if there's any breezes. Now, you're noticing right there, this oscillates. It does. It will swing back and forth. This has a timer on it. You can set this to turn itself off in a half hour, 1 hour, 4 hours, or 8 hours. So it's got lots of options for the timer if you want to use that. It comes with a remote control. So you can operate this from across the room. And it has all the features on there, as you can see, for the timer. 2 different settings for the heat. There's a low and a high. High is 1200 watts, low is 600 watts. This is totally safe. It has thermal protection, so whatever gets too hot, it turns itself off. And it has tip-over protection. If I take this one, and clearly you can see that infrared rod in there working right now, but watch this. If I tip it backwards, it turns itself off. You can see that turns off immediately. So around kids and pets, it's going to be safe. If you want to turn it back on again, you just hit the on button right there, and that's a great safety feature, so nobody accidentally sits on the remote and turns this on. You got to turn it on from here. But then all your settings are on top of this as well for all the times you can do in terms of turning it on and off. By the way, I said 8 hours. It's not. It's a half hour. It's 1 hour, 2 hours. Half hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. Those are the times. Oh, there you go. You can see it perfectly right there. But what do you think about that, Shannon? Isn't that amazing to have one that you can take indoors, outdoors, anywhere you go?
I've never seen anything like it. I mean, the only thing I think of when I think of outdoor heaters, I think of those big, huge lamps, right, that are at the restaurants, yeah, you know, and they always heat the top of your head. You're like, I don't, this is not the hot part of me, right? The part that's cold, right? My feet, they're cold. This is radiant. So you can use this inside. If you have that one room that always stays a little bit chillier, right? Or somebody who's coming to your home needs that warmth. or you just want to be able to stay outside a little bit longer. That outdoor lanai or that outdoor porch or patio, it's only enjoyable if it's nice and comfortable, right? If the temperature's comfortable. It's starting to get a little bit cooler. Some places it's getting cold, but I am telling you, this is warming up this entire area. And it's not just on me. So I get the warmth, and now the other person gets the warmth, and now the other person gets the warmth, and now the other person, but it stays warm with that radiance. It's $35.99 to get it home. And I know, Lou, it's hard for us to get any electronic items in, but anything that is sort of like timely right now, like it's a perfect time for the weather, but we can't get any more in stock. I was just getting it up to, we've got about, it's going very quickly, about 165 left. That's it.
This is it. Well, and you know what? If you're one of those people that maybe, you say like you got thin skin, you know what I mean? You're always cold. You can never get warm from the heat in your house. Infrared heat is like the warmth from the sun. It penetrates. So you are going to feel warm when you use this. You can also practice what we call zone heating, which means you can actually take this with you from room to room in your house. Because, Shannon, if you got that one cold space, and you were just talking about this a second ago, that one room in the house that's cold, or maybe the one person who's cold, I always like to use the analogy, if I'm boiling a pot of water on a 4-burner stove, I don't turn on all 4 burners when I'm boiling one pot of water. No, I just use the one burner. This is your one burner. You take this from room to room with you, and you use it. I like what you're saying a moment ago about how the whole area was feeling warmth, because even though this swings back and forth, remember what I said before, infrared heaters warm people and objects in the room. So this is warming that couch, it's warming the table, it's warming the carpeting, it's warming you, your clothes, all that, and in turn, you're all radiating the heat. And that's why this is so much of a more efficient way to heat, because you're not relying on a fan that's drawing even more energy. Now, the other thing about radiant heat, though, Shannon, it's instant. So if you just came in from shoveling, you're not going to sit there and waiting for something to heat you up. This, as soon as you turn it on, it's on. You can see it, you can feel it, you know that this is working. But, for me, the big deal, I've never seen one that I could take outside before that wasn't one of those big propane domes, that just heats the back of your neck and the top of your head. This will heat up your porch, your lanai, wherever you're sitting, and you're going to get more enjoyment out of those outside areas now because, again, IP55 rated. And let's look at that one more time. I mean, that's, to me, the craziest thing I've ever seen. It's a piece of electronics sitting in the water. Generally, water electronics, bad idea. Westinghouse has made it so that you can, in fact, enjoy this regardless of the circumstances outside the weather. It doesn't matter.
And with all of these features, you would think it would be far more than $200. It's under $180, and we're going to ship it to you for free. It's our final sellout quantities. So this is it. When they're gone, they're gone. And if you're thinking later, oh, I'm out on the patio and I've got this wine, I'm enjoying it, but man, it's a little chilly. I need to get another blanket out here. This isn't the kind of warmth that you can get from a blanket. It's that radiant warmth. It's that true, like the warmth from the sun. And it's not like a fan. So when you think about if this were a fan and I was cold, it only cools you off when it's on you. Right? Like only as it's sort of blowing on you, you're like, okay, now I'm cold. Oh, now I'm hot again. Right? Now I'm cold. This is a radiant warmth that it exudes warmth. I'm still warm. I'm not just cold because it's turned away from me. It's just radiating that warmth everywhere that oscillates. You've got the timer function. You've got the remote control with all of the features. I mean, anytime you add a remote, it's going to be more expensive. Anytime you have something that actually is weatherproof, a weatherproof heater, unheard of at under $180. Let us ship it to you for free for $35.99. Get it home. And Lou, this is right on time. It's right for now. But I'm from California. The weather gets cool in August at night.
Yeah, well, and parts of Florida as well. You'll have nights where it starts to get cool, even here in the early fall, early spring, late spring. You know what I mean? You never know. So don't feel like you can't go outside, you can't enjoy yourself. And use this indoor